All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Lydia Mason is suing Tyler Mason in the amount of $950. Ms. Mason claims her grandson damaged the exterior of her home while putting up Christmas lights and says he needs to pay for his carelessness.
I understand, Ms. Mason, that you are in court today suing your grandson. That's sad. For $950, you said that he was negligent and he caused damage to your property? What happened?
I know.
And why are you having to sue him?
I feel like it's the only place I'm going to have a voice and be able to actually communicate what's going on. And that he might have to listen, because I did try to talk to him before we came.
You did?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
So you weren't able to work it out, so here you are. So what
Yeah.
happened?
So I'm really into holidays. It's my thing. And I just like it. And every year at Christmas, we have a huge holiday light thing at our trailer park in Medford, Oregon. And it's very important to me. I sketch out all my ideas months at a time. I do the other holidays too, like 4th of July, Easter. Autumn's really great. And there are kids in the community, and for some of them, it's the only thing they have to look forward to at Christmas time, is the holiday light contest and the thing. In any case, so for years I've done this, and his dad, my son, has come and helped me with just the lights. I can do all of it but the lights.
Right. So you're talking about the exterior lights on your trailer.
Ma'am.
Do you have a picture?
I do, yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Here you go. Okay. Yeah, I do. I have
And
pictures.
so your dad typically does this, but this particular time, I understand that your grandson came to do this. Do we have this in the class?
Correct.
Oh, wow. I mean, we're talking lights.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking lots and lots and lots of lights.
Right.
Tell me about what's happening here.
This was my design for this year, and I left, when I found out my son couldn't do it, he offered that his son, my grandson, Tyler could do it.
Okay, so your son wasn't available. You're telling me that your son typically does this, all the decorations for you.
Right.
But this year, you were there and you were gonna do, because your dad couldn't do it. Is that correct, Tyler?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so your grandmother calls you and says, hey, I have this plan. I wanna decorate
Well,
the lights.
yes, my father couldn't do it because he got called into work. He works at the local diner, and he told my grandma, hey, why doesn't Tyler do it? So I agreed. I said, yeah, sure, why not? It seems pretty easy. I've seen him do it over the years. So she hands me a blueprint and a map of exactly where she wants the lights, like this.
Okay.
And she hands me a box with old clips and a bunch of other tools and says, you have access to my tool shed if you need it. And so I was like, okay, seems pretty easy. I'll use the clips, put up the lights. And so about an hour in, I start using the clips, and I'm wrestling with them, trying to keep them up, but they keep slipping off. And they're just old, and they're weary, and they're just not working. So I go into the box that she provided for me that has a staple gun. And I thought, okay, I'll improvise. So I grab the staple gun, and I start putting up the lights, and they're going up quick. They're lighting up. It's pretty easy. And I put them up like this. And as far as I'm concerned, the job got done very well. And she actually...
I mean, that's a lot of work. I mean, we aren't talking about...
Took me 3.5 hours.
Wow, I'm surprised that you were able to do it in even that amount of time. That looks like a lot of work and a lot of time. And it looks beautiful.
Yes.
So explain to me, Ms. Mason, why are we here if this is the end result and your grandson came in, and here we have this lovely, lovely...
It does look good. I absolutely acknowledge that. I had some trepidation about it to begin with. Because,
Why? Tell me why.
Well, because Tyler's 18. He has no idea what he wants to do with his life. He doesn't have a job. He lives at my son's house. He doesn't pay rent. And there's a bit of a reputation in the family that he cuts corners and just does the simplest thing. But I thought it would be okay because he's watched his dad do it.
Right.
And his dad, every year, always only does the lights, uses the clips that are for vinyl because you cannot puncture vinyl. So we always use the clips, and they are old, that's true, but these are made 30 years ago. They're going nowhere. These are solid steel.
Let me see those,
There you
please.
go.
And so what I'm hearing is that you needed to use clips instead of the staple gun.
Yeah.
All right, and do you have pictures of the damage? Is that what you're
Oh yeah,
showing?
I do. You should have it
I have
there.
that? All right, let me look at that, please. I think we have those in the plasma as well. Okay, so instead of the clips, he used the staple gun, and that's where you have the punctures in the vinyl.
Right.
All right.
In fact, and this is one of the few things the insurance company excludes, because the lights must always be put up with clips, not something that's going to permanently damage the structure.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Wow, wow, wow.
Your Honor, if this is so important to her, then why, when her son can't do it and she leaves it to her irresponsible grandson, as she calls me, why would she go play bingo that night?
And later,
I don't feel financial responsibility for the losses she incurred because I do not feel like I knowingly exposed her to mono.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Lydia Mason, who is suing her grandson, Tyler Mason, for property damage.
So where did you get the $950 from? That's what I'm trying to
Well, the
understand.
cost breakdown, the materials, the 6 panels are $420. So then there's like the fasteners, sealant, trim pieces, all that. The labor is 6 hours labor, $462. The total's $950. That keeps it like kosher with my insurance policy. It's being done right in this case. It's not just something squirted all over the place, because there are hundreds of these holes.
So let me ask you this. You also said that there was damage to the Santa Claus. I see a picture. What's going on with that?
Well, I didn't want to bring this into, like, I wasn't trying to get damages for that. But it's more an example of his just sort of carelessness. That is a vintage Santa I've had. I got from an estate sale about 15 years ago. He's very important to me. I bring him out every Christmas, and you have to carry him carefully. So I brought him out of storage, and I set him into place. He did not need to be moved at all. And
I didn't move him.
something happened. So when I set him down, believe me, I stood behind him, and I'm actually shorter than it looks. I can see right there. He was fine when I left. Somehow he's not. He said he didn't do it. I'm not going to call him a liar because I don't know. I think it's possible he did it and doesn't know he did it.
Wow, wow, wow.
Your Honor, if this is so important to her, then why, when her son can't do it and she leaves it to her irresponsible grandson, as she calls me, why would she go play bingo that night?
You weren't home to supervise?
No, I wasn't, because every year I have to go away to play bingo for the simple reason that his dad has trouble being around me. So I always leave.
His status and what?
His dad and I don't have a great relationship, and so he only shows up once a year to do this, like his good deed for me. So I always get out of the way because he can't really handle being around me.
All right. This is what's going to happen. Tyler, you're going to get with your dad, and you all are going to figure out how this is going to get fixed, all right? And then there's going to be an inspector that's going to come out and certify for your grandmother. You're going to get somebody in the construction business who's going to come out and certify that this is well done and she's not going to have any mold, rain issues with this trailer, all right? And that's going to be your responsibility. I am not going to award the $950 today. I think that you will act in good faith. I think you will make an effort. I don't think you were careless in trying to do this. I think that you made the effort to step up because your father had to work that day and you knew how important this was to your grandmother. He could have said no. Your son was not available. He could have said, no, I don't want to do it. If he's as irresponsible as you paint him to be, he would have said, no, I don't want to do it. That's not what he did. He stepped up. He may have used this gun, and it did put holes, and it did create a problem with the vinyl. But I do believe that there can be a reasonable approach to getting this fixed. And then if it's not fixed, then you are open to come back, and we will take this matter up again. But I think this can be resolved. I think that you and your father are going to get together and figure out the right way to do it. Get a contractor to certify that this work was done properly. Get that to your grandmother in writing. But a broader issue is that there needs to be some mending, not just of the vinyl, but of the relationship. You hear what I'm saying? The fact that your son only comes once a year, now you talk about how irresponsible your grandson is, but he showed up. He showed up to support you and help you. And so I want you to really think about what this means, right? Do you have other grandchildren?
I do, and I'm close to all of them, and I'm close to my girls.
So come on, why can't we figure out how we work on this relationship?
His dad doesn't want to be near me, and so he doesn't want to be near me because he's heard from his dad his whole life that I'm.
Not true.
It is true because this came from my ex-husband.
Grandma, I visit every holiday.
They show up once a year. I get a hug and a goodbye. That's it. No contact. I'm extremely close to my 3 daughters and my other 4 grandchildren.
What is it gonna take?
I wish.
What is it gonna take to fix this?
An act of God.
What are you willing to do to help fix this? Come on, talk to me.
I'm gonna get it fixed, Grandma. And you know what? For the next year, I'll come over on all the holidays and I'll help you set up everything else. I vow to do that.
Thank you.
Because I know I don't have a job, but I'll work on that too.
Thank you.
All right. Do you need a hug?
Okay.
Yeah, come on. Come on, you need a hug, honey. I can tell. All right, let's hold it together, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
It's all good.
I don't know that we need to say anything else.
Okay.
All right? I mean, I just think there needs to be some healing and some time.
There will.
And it won't happen necessarily overnight. But you gotta try. He says he's gonna try.
Oh, I will meet him 99% of the way.
That's all right. Nothing further. We'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case has been dismissed. Coming up,
You're suing him because you basically said that he gave you mono.
That's correct.
And because he gave you mono, that you lost time in a theatrical performance. Is that right?
Yes, 5 performances.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Actress Leanna Moreno is suing J.T. Park for $1,750. Ms. Moreno claims Mr. Park kissed her while he had mono and made her too sick to finish her role in a theatrical production, and says her fellow cast members should cover her losses.
Oh, this is interesting. You're suing him because you basically said that he gave you mono.
That's correct.
And because he gave you mono, that you lost time in a theatrical performance. Is that right?
Yes, 5 performances.
5 performances. So how do you all even know each other?
We are in a company right now doing a show together. We're castmates.
And how long have you all known each other?
I've been a part of this company only for 3 months.
And what about you?
3 years.
Tell me what happened.
Well, after rehearsals wrapped, a castmate of ours decided to throw an impromptu party. I began a conversation with J.T. Park. I knew that he was somebody who tended to be flirty, so I expected that. What I didn't expect was him to lean in and kiss me. It wasn't something I had planned. And then a couple days later, I started showing symptoms, so I was fatigued, I had a sore throat, swollen glands, and so I went to the doctor, and I got a doctor's note that says that I was diagnosed with mono.
So let's talk about this. JT, were you sick?
It's true, Your Honor. I was sick for a couple days prior to the party, but as far as I know, it was just a heavy cold.
Were you symptomatic, though, when you were kissing?
No. I made sure to stay home from rehearsals for a couple days. When
And then you felt better?
Yeah.
Coming up,
I don't feel financial responsibility for the losses she incurred because I do not feel like I knowingly exposed her to mono.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Leanna Moreno, who is suing J.T. Park for negligence.
Did you subsequently get tested and have mono?
No.
You didn't go get tested after that. So how do we know that he had mono?
The symptoms were exactly the same. When I talked to him about his bad cold from rehearsals, we had the exact same symptoms, and I haven't been in contact with anybody else who has been sick.
So how is it that you all were kissing?
Well, it's funny you should say that because what she left out is she was the one who leaned in for the kiss first.
Interesting. You say no. He says you leaned in. You say no, that's not how it happened.
I don't remember it happening that way, but I also don't really think it matters who leaned in, because if he knew he was sick, he could have pulled away if I was the one who was leaning in. It was a mutual thing, and if I had known he was sick, I wouldn't have leaned in or let him kiss me.
I mean, I agree it was mutual, but I don't feel like I can bear responsibility for that much because I didn't feel I was sick at that point.
Let me see your evidence here. Let me see the medical report. Let me see the testing. Let me see what you have. So JT, do you feel any responsibility for this? None? No? Zero? None? What? Tell me.
Well, look, I certainly feel sorry for her. I'm sorry that she got mono. I'm sorry that she missed out on 5 performance opportunities. I'm an actor also. I completely understand. But at the same time, I don't feel financial responsibility for the losses she incurred because I do not feel like I knowingly exposed her to mono.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Given the facts that I have before me in this court today, I cannot hold him responsible for you having contracted mono. If he came, he was being irresponsible, burning up with fever, coughing, sneezing, and knowingly was kissing on you, yes, you would get every single dime of this money. That is not the evidence I have before me in this court, and therefore I'm going to deny your claim. And I know this is going to sound really harsh, but thank God it was just mono, because I've seen situations where people contracted things that you cannot cure. Oof. I'm keeping it very, 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 very real. And so we think that some of these casual encounters are harmless, but they may not be. But thankfully, it's something that you could recover from. All right, if nothing further, we'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case has been dismissed.
I feel like the judge ruled fairly, and I understand, even though I'm disappointed.
I agree, and I wish you all the best.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.